Hi friends, welcome to day 2 of building your basics for 2024 preliminary examination. Today is going to be the second session of polity. In the first session, we have seen the historical underpinnings of Indian Constitution. Constitution has evolved over period and how the 1950 Indian Constitution was adopted and enforced. Today, we are going to see what were the different features that we have borrowed from different constitution, different countries' constitution, and how we have adopted into our constitution and how we are following that for time long. Especially the Government of India Act 1935 is one of the steel frame where most of the features of the present Indian constitution has been borrowed. So without any delay, we are just going into the today's session. Let's jump in. The first one that we are going to see is Government of India Act 1935. As I said before, there has been multiple features that we have borrowed from this set of laws. The first one is the judiciary. In judiciary, we have adopted the different tiers of judicial system into our constitution. Say for example, in our judicial system, we have the apex court as Supreme Court, and we have high courts for each and every state, and after that we have magistrate court, the district level courts, and all those stuffs. And the innovation of constitution is all about, we have also brought in Lok Adalats, all those stuffs we'll be seeing in the upcoming sessions as well. The next feature that we have got adopted from 1935 Government of India Act is the office of governor. So the office of governor is given in our constitution, role of running the state when there is an emergency, when there is president's emergency, the president rule is taking place, governor will take the role of administration. Also the next feature is the Public Service Commission. The Public Service Commission, say it the Union Public Service Commission or each and every state Public Service Commission, and in case two states come together and make a call from the parliament asking for joint public service commission, can be brought into effect. These features were brought into our constitution from the Government of India Act 1935. And the next one is emergency provision. Emergency provision was also adopted into Indian constitution from 1935 Government of India Act. There is also one more thing that you have to keep in mind about the emergency provisions. Emergency provision, though adopted from 1935 Act, the suspension of fundamental rights during the emergency provision was adopted from Weimar Constitution, which is nothing but the German Constitution. This is very, very important from preliminary point of view because many aspirants gets confused with this emergency provision from where it was adopted. Have to be very, very careful based on the question which is being asked. Okay, the next feature, the next constitution from where we have taken a reference and we have borrowed is the British Constitution. From the British Constitution, we have borrowed one of the important features of Indian Constitution, which is nothing but the parliamentary government. We very well know Parliament is one of the important legislative body. Speaking in detail about the parliamentary form of government in the upcoming sessions of polity. The next feature that was adopted is the legislative procedures and the rule of law. Legislative procedures is nothing but how a law is being made and what is the amount of majority it is required to pass a law in state legislature, let it be parliament or whatever it may be. The rule making procedure was adopted from the British Constitution. The next comes the first past post system. This is very, very important with respect to the election system which is being adopted in India even now. Let it be the parliamentary election, the Lok Sabha elections, or the state legislative elections, state assembly elections. The first past post system is being used to evaluate the majority who has won and form the government within the India. The next one is the US Constitution. The important feature that we have borrowed is fundamental rights. Fundamental rights, which takes the part 3 of Indian Constitution, plays a very important role to make sure that we the citizens of India, and not only specifically citizens of India, people who reside in India also enjoy few fundamental rights. These fundamental rights feature has been taken from the US Constitution. The next one is independence of judiciary. See, there are three important pillars of governance. First one is judiciary, the second one is legislature, and the third one is the executive. The independence of judiciary is very, very important to make sure justice is served in country like India. So the independence of judiciary was adopted from the feature of US Constitution. The next one is impeachment of president. Even though we have parliamentary form of government, president plays a very important role in Indian Constitution. Each and everything happens in the name of President, His Excellency. Process of impeachment of president has been taken from the US Constitution. Okay. The next important thing that we have borrowed from is Irish Constitution, which is nothing but DPSP. DPSP is nothing but Directive Principles of State Policies. It is nothing but how a state has to be governed. It is a set of rules and it is a set of goals that the society, as an Indian society, that has to reach on itself. DPSP is kept in part 4 of Indian Constitution. Why I am telling these parts is it's very, very important from the perspective of prelims also. In the before thing I have said, like the fundamental rights comes under part 3 of Indian Constitution and DPSP comes under part 4 of the Indian Constitution. Let's jump into the next one. Next comes the Australian Constitution. What we have borrowed from the Australian Constitution is the concurrent list. If you see, there is union government, there is state government, tier 3 local government, which is the Panchayat Raj and the urban local bodies. So all these things has their own powers. Say for example, the central government has union list, the set of powers where the set of areas where it can make legislatures and laws. State government makes legislatures and laws under the state list. There are few set of lists where state and center can make laws. This is nothing called concurrent list. Okay, there is also one more provision that we have got from Australian Constitution is nothing but joint sitting. Joint sitting is nothing but, say in our parliament there are two houses, the lower house and the upper house, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha respectively. For few occasions, example, if there is no consensus for a bill amongst the two houses, the lower house and the upper house, then comes the joint sitting session. We'll be seeing more in detail about the joint sitting session, but the feature of joint sitting session has been borrowed from Australian Constitution. Next comes the South African Constitution. We have borrowed the procedure of amendments. Say in 1950 we enforced the Indian Constitution. Do you think that is the same document we are following till now 2023? No, there has been different updates that have come according to the updates and the evolution in Indian society. The process of amendment in Indian Constitution has been adopted. The process has been adopted from the South African Constitution. The next one is the French Constitution. From French Constitution, we have adopted the three important ideals, that is the equality, liberty and fraternity, and all these three terms has been included into our preamble of a constitution. If you go and read the preamble of the constitution, these three terms will take a very important portion into this preamble, and this has been adopted from French Constitution. And if you see, the concept of liberty, equality and fraternity plays a very important role right from French Revolution, which took place in 1789. So this is all about the features that we have borrowed from different countries' constitution and made our own Indian Constitution. Hope this was very helpful and you also made notes on it and made note that what are the differences and different provisions and features that we have to keep in mind from the exam point of view. Okay guys, so see you in the next session, that is day 3. Until then, stay tuned and subscribe to my channel for more updates. Bye.